That's a question. What can we do in the event if Scott Pruitt unilaterally issues out an
God bless him.
order through the president to draw back or to eviscerate our progressive policies,
do it,
environmental policies in California?
Please.
I have a bill, Senate Bill 49. Senate Bill 49. What we do is we take the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, the Safe Drinking Water Act, and finally, the Endangered Species Act. We take those four measures, which passed at the federal level in a bipartisan fashion, by the way, decades ago. We take those measures and we enshrine them into state law in California. So when we enshrine them into state law, if Scott Pruitt attempts to eviscerate our progressive climate change, environmental policies, I should say, our environmental policies, then we're prepared to litigate state rights, because those are the laws of the state of California.
If we're still alive.
So a bill to reform the money bail system is moving through the California legislature, and thank you for supporting SB 10 in the Senate. A federal version is now moving forward, authored by Kamala Harris and Rand Paul.
Yeah.
Do you think that there are other bipartisan...
I need to look at the details.
...we could get through Congress on criminal justice issues, given that there's this apparent alliance between progressives and the libertarian elements of the Republican Party?
Without a doubt, without a doubt. I think that, and you're referring to Senate Bill 10, which is Senator Bob Hertzberg from the other side of the hill.
Me too.
The Valley. I think this is a wonderful opportunity for whether you're on the right or whether you're on the left to come together as Americans and really take a step back and take a holistic approach with regards to many of the laws that legislators have really moved forward based on visceral emotion, based on fear, all the enhancements, enhancement on top of enhancement on top of enhancement, that someone spends 30 years, 40, 45 years in prison at the cost of millions of dollars instead of investing in education.
Right.
Instead of investing in therapy.
Just for a drug charge.
With the anger issues,
I agree with that.
to deal with the abandonment issues, to deal with perhaps a drug addiction issue, to deal with low self-esteem. All these issues that drive folks to commit crimes. Now, obviously, if you commit a crime, you're going to have to do the time. There's no question about that.
Like you.
But some of the enhancements actually, as we all know, make no sense at all whatsoever, because we've created a prison industrial complex where we have spent hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yes, you did.
So I think that we can all agree, Democrats as well as Republicans can agree that we can really reform, bring about restorative justice.
Restorative justice.
People will have to do their time. There's no question about it. But
starting with Tony Mendoza.
On the three strikes bill, remember one thing about the three strikes bill. The three strikes, it wasn't a bill, but it was actually a ballot initiative. That was drafted in the backyard in Fresno by a father who painfully and tragically lost his daughter to a very heinous crime. He was very angry, just like any mother or father would be. And he got together with the district attorney of Fresno and other folks, and they drafted Three Strikes You're Out. But as a result of Three Strikes You're Out, which was a failed,
went too far
initiative in the terms of crime didn't actually go down, and we spent tens of billions of dollars, and we never rehabilitated anyone. When folks eventually got out of prison, they got out of prison unemployed, they got out of prison low skilled, they got out of prison without dealing with the issues that they were grappling with, and they came out angry. And that doesn't make our communities safe, wherever you live, whether it's in San Bernardino, Riverside, or Hemet, or Santa Monica.
San Bernardino is a
So this
murder
is something
capital.
that I think we can work together on, no doubt about it. We want to make safe communities.
No sanctuary city.
Before I ask you to wrap up, I have one question I wanted to ask you, which came from one of the Trump supporters here.
Oh my God.
I really like the way it's worded, so I'm going to read it directly. Will you be for everyone in your district or the state, Republican, independent, decline to state, or will you quietly disregard everything we want and only vote for liberal, communistic Democrats?
That's what you've been doing.
Let me I'm going to answer that question head on, and because that's a very serious question, and I respect your question because it's a very serious question. It's a real question, and it's a question that must be answered by Democrats and Republicans alike. I've always said this. Now, you know my policies, you know my values.
Unfortunately.
And I know this is important. And I know the folks, who supported Trump, who oppose me. I understand that. I've always been very clear that when I move my policies forward, I move my policies that's inclusive of all individuals.
No, you don't.
Including Trump supporters. The reason why I say this is so important is this is why elections are consequential. They matter. Now, whether it's in the Inland Empire or Central Valley, whether it is West Virginia or Kentucky, or whether it is Ohio or Pennsylvania, when you have a room full of individuals who lost their jobs as a result of losing their jobs, because I know me, I identify myself in terms of my job. I like to work, I work hard, and if I didn't have my job, I'd be a mess, And I think a lot of folks, have internal satisfaction,
Yes.
enjoy a sense of purpose from their jobs, because it gives you the ability to take care of your family. It gives you the ability to put a roof over their head, and put clothes on their backs, and food on the table.
Yes.
So when you lose your job, for whatever reason, whether perhaps that coal mining plant is no longer selling as much coal as they used to, or there was, because of globalization, a bad trade deal,
Yes.
that job went elsewhere.
Yes.
Illegal immigration.
Allow me.
Yes. Illegal sting jobs.
When you lose your job and you lose your self-esteem, you lose your sense of being,
Lose your daughter.
and all the issues that happen under that roof, because you don't have the money to pay the bills, and all the domestic issues, and as a result, there's a divorce, and you lost your wife, or you lost your husband, and you lost your children,
He wants to talk
you lost
about
your
families.
house from the foreclosure, you lost your sense
How
of
about
being
Kate
who you
Steinle?
are.
What about her
This is
family?
real, and this happens to all individuals all over the nation. This is why it's so important that when politicians or folks who want to have your vote come before you and ask you for your vote, that you understand their core values, even if you may not agree with a lot of things. And that's why it's important that someone moves forward and says, this is my policy, if you have an opportunity. If you give me an opportunity. If you don't, you don't. But what you can't do is you can't say, you have no house, you lost your family, you lost your sense of being, your sense of community, because of people who look like her.
I've
People
never
who look
said
like
that.
them.
I've never said
And you
that.
pit one, I'm not talking about you.
Good.
Pitting one
Good.
group
I got that from the
against
senator,
another
not
that
me.
tears at the fabric of our great society. And that's why we have to lift
Never
everyone
said that.
together. So whether you're a Democrat and you're a progressive Democrat, a Bernie-crat, if you voted for Hillary Clinton, if you're moderate, if you're
Knock her up.
conservative, if you are a liberal Republican, whether you're a far right-wing ideologue, whether actually you're not really a Republican, but you're just
Bob
ready
Dornan.
100% to Trump, because it's the power of the personality. Even if it's that's okay.
Cult of
I
personality.
will vote for you. I will support you. I will move policies that lift people up.
You'll vote for
Because
me?
You have a right to breathe clean air, as your children do. You have a right to drink clean water, as your children do. You have a right to send your kid off to college and have to be debt-free.
No, I don't have a right to
You
that.
have a right to work in a job, and guess what? It's not going to be
No, I don't have a
fine.
right to that.
But perhaps it's going to be wind turbine, utility scale solar that really drives this economy, puts people to work. That's my platform. And you have my word that I will fight for you too.
I'm going to close up here, but one question we got a lot of from the audience is, which you kind of already touched on, is to discuss the differences in policy between yourself and Senator Feinstein.
There you go.
So if you could take the opportunity to